Septembre frappe à votre porte et c'est très bientôt le mois des rentrées académiques en Grande-Bretagne. Rien de plus passionnant que d'étudier dans l'une des plus prestigieuses universités au monde en Angleterre. FK Global Educational Ventures vous facilite la tâche et désormais vous offre la possibilité d'aller étudier en Angleterre. FK Global Educational Ventures, c'est un ensemble de conseils pratiques sur le choix de vos filières, la vie en Angleterre, mais surtout la direction à prendre après vos études. Tenez par exemple, pour les étudiants en filière master, sachez-le désormais, vous avez la possibilité d'obtenir 2 ans de visa après vos études afin de permettre votre intégration sociale et surtout de trouver un emploi fiable, convenable à votre diplôme. Mais alors, ce n'est pas tout. Pour les étudiants en cycle STEM, entendu par là, les sciences, les technologies, l'ingénierie et surtout les mathématiques, sachez-le, désormais, il est plus facile pour vous d'obtenir une résidence permanente en Angleterre. Alors, FK Global Educational Ventures, c'est désormais la porte qui vous est offerte pour arriver en Grande-Bretagne, de faire des études meilleures et surtout d'avoir un avenir sûr. Global Educational Ventures, c'est un ensemble de conseils pratiques avec des professionnels qui sont là pour vous diriger exactement sur la bonne voie jusqu'à l'obtention de votre visa. Retrouvez-nous dans l'un de nos sites web, retrouvez-nous par notre contact WhatsApp, retrouvez-nous par un contact email que vous regardez au bas de cet écran et je suis sûr que vous aurez une réponse satisfaisante à votre demande. Merci de nous avoir regardés.
What nonsense is this? Rubbish people. How can I receive such an amount of money?
How much did you get?
£200.
Let me see what you got. Oops. See what I got. I just received £200 from my brother.
Oh, you got a lot more than I do.
Oh yes, with MoneyFix, you can receive money from any part of the world to Cameroon directly into your mobile money account at the cheapest rate.
Wow. Are you looking for the best exchange rate for all your money transfer? Try MoneyFix. Log on to moneyfix.com. MoneyFix. Fast, easy, and cheap service to Cameroon. MoneyFix.
Hey fam, good afternoon everybody, good afternoon my delicious, and welcome to this very scintillating episode of Relationship Hot Topics. I am your host Deli Singer, and of course joining me today is Bison Denzel and B. Emanuela. Guys, how are we doing? Hope we're good, hope we are good. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. I'm not talking to myself today by myself. Can you guys hear me? Can you all hear me? Indicate in the comments, guys. Let me see if you can hear me. I have Conglin, Liza Berinue. I have Nora Abe. I have Flourish Joy Love. I have DJ How Husna. We have, it's a lot of you in the comments. We have Fusong Linda, Tambi Princess Bay. We have Peggy Nastre, Giselle Itale. We have all of you watching. Guys, can you kindly share the video, please? Just share the video. Share, share, and share. Okay? Share, because we're about to have a very educative talk. Okay? So on your screens, of course, you guys have seen the comments. You've seen the publicity. You've seen all of what you have seen. I will just talk about it before we get into all of this. Can you guys share the video, guys? Share. Okay, share. I'm barely even seeing. Oh, let me just do that. Okay, share the video, guys. Share and share. Okay, share the video. So, tada! We have MoneyFix. You guys have watched the advert. You guys have seen what it's all about. So we have fast, easy, and cheap money transfer service to Cameroon. So it's a new venture, and you want to send your money from any part of the world. Yes, we have been having questions from some of you asking us if this is why you're trying the app and it's not working. The problem is there's still some things we have to sort out, okay, in some parts of the world. So for the meantime, we have the UK. So those of you in the UK, you can send money to Cameroon and there's no problem. You just get on Play Store or your iStore, and then you download the app, get on there, fill in the details, and you're good to go. And the beautiful part of it is that once you send the money, it gets directly into the mobile money number or account of the person or your benefactor in Cameroon. So that's it. For those of you in Europe, you can only send money to, you can send money to Cameroon as well, but of course you also have the extra luxury of sending money to Nigeria and I guess a few other European countries. But of course, we would be, like I said, extending our tentacles into Europe, America, and other parts of the world. And of course, with time and in time and very soon, we would be taking over. So guys, can you get on your phones and do this? Can I hear you comment Monifex in the comment section, please? Let me see you comment Monifex, Monifex, and Monifex. Okay. And of course, we have global FK Global Educational Ventures as well. You want to travel and study abroad, he is the go-to person. Okay, the details are always on the screen, but in case you missed out on that, please kindly get to me inbox, and of course we'll take it from there. Then of course we have Escape by Edith Delight. Escape by Edith Delight. Edith Delight, of course, is a household name, and she is a skin esthetician. She has had 8 solid years of research on the tropical skin. So she knows what she's talking about. I am the brand ambassador, and of course I will be talking to you a lot on skincare and the best products to have on your skin. Then last but not the least, guys, okay, we have, let me see you in the comments. Let me see you. Let me see if you guys are okay. Monifex, when I say anything, guys, write it in the comments, okay? Okay, write it in the comments. So I've talked about global FK Global Educational Ventures. I've talked about Monifex. I've talked about Escape by Edith Delight. Okay. And I'm going to be projecting, like I said, I'm going to be projecting all of these in intervals. Let's just set to talk about this, and then we get into the crux of the matter. Guys, share the video. Those of you watching, it's not very encouraging. I need much more than what I'm seeing on the screen, okay? I need much more than what we see on the screen right now. Share the video to groups. Tag your friends, okay? And share the video to as many places as possible. Then again, like I said, last but not the least, we have ICT University. I'm a brand ambassador with them. You want to study everything that has to do with technology. In fact, like I said, technology is our main course, but it's a lot of other courses that you can study in there. And we have a main campus in Yaoundé. You can study. It's open to both French and English students, okay? So like I said, if you want more of these, just get to me inbox. I always put up all of these things on my platform, and thank you guys for the immense support, supporting this work, supporting this vision. You've always been there. So when I put it on there and I insist on sharing, know that that's what brings food to the table, guys. Share the video, okay? So that we can, yeah. So I said ICTU, Monifex, FK Global Educational Ventures, and of course, Escape by Edith Delight. So these at the moment, these are the brands we have and we're partnering with, and we are brand ambassadors for. Okay, so guys, thank you for the immense support. It's just about time for me to bring the biggest trio on social media regarding as far as relationships are concerned. We have B-Song smiling already. We have Denzel. Denzel is there. We have B. Emma. Unfortunately, B. Emma will be connecting from WhatsApp as usual, because like I said, she is not available right now. So okay, so her network is not really the best. Okay, guys, pump hearts. I've not seen too many hearts. Come on, we're not having too many hearts today. You know how we do it. We're not supposed to say these things again. It's just about time for me to project our topic before I bring on the trio, our biggest trio. Guys, let me see you pump hearts. Let me see you pump more hearts as we take on the topic of today. Okay? Ta-da. Okay. B, you want to flip your camera because it is not properly positioned. Okay, just before we get on here. Sorry guys, share the video, share and pump hearts guys. Tada! So that's it on screen. We have deadbeat that and the impact on kids. Okay, so this is what we'll be taking on board. Guys, tag every dad, potential dads who are already big, or in fact fathers, absentee fathers. Literally, that's what we'll be talking about today. So get your jotters, get your pens, get everything you have, get your coffee, and be ready to support us in the comment section. Now, before I get into that, oops, I was already forgetting. We have on your screens 2 stars of the week, guys. So we have the first person. She goes by the name Chick Ngangwel Nwela Echik. I always get her name wrong. So she goes by the name Gang Nwela Echik. If Ngangwela Echik is there, Ngangwela, we want to tell you thank you. Relationship hot topics, B. Emanuela, B Song and Denzel are saying thank you so much for the immense support that you have been showing us. Last week you were there, you shared, you pump hearts, you tag your friends, you contributed enormously to the show. So we want to say from the bottom of our hearts or the top of our hearts, thank you. Okay, thank you. So you've just earned yourself top up for next show. Okay, and then the next person, of course, a very, very familiar face. She's always been there from day one. Tada, Scully Sandy. I hope I got your name right. She is the other star of the week. So we always have stars of the week, 2 stars of the week. We pick people who contribute, who share, who do all of these things, comment, and give, of course, insightful comments, tagging their friends and, encourage us in one way or the other. We want to say thank you to you, Scully Sanda. Thank you for being there. Thank you for always being there, being very supportive. If they're not there, guys, if you're there, tag them so that they come and see themselves being projected and see how happy we are to have them as followers. Thank you, guys. Okay, thank you. Just about time for us to get our panelists on board. Bisong, Denzel, and B. Emanuela. Sorry, guys. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the patience. Share the video. Let's get at least up to 200 of you, okay? And pump hearts. When you join, you pump hearts and keep pumping us hearts to encourage us, okay, in the best way. Encourage us. Are you ready to receive the biggest trio on social media at this point in time? We have Denzel. I guess I'll be taking on Denzel. Denzel's fan club. Can I see you in the comment section? Make some noise for him. If you're ready for Denzel, pump hearts, show him some love. Let me see you in the comment section and let me see hearts on your screens. Guys, are we ready for Denzel? Denzel, are you ready? Are you ready for us? Ta-da! Ta-da-da!
Hey, Deli.
Hi, Denzel. Welcome.
Thank you. Wow,
It's good
you're looking
to have
beautiful.
you.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much. They always compliment him. Thank you. Or you're just being a gentleman. Welcome. It's always good to have you. Your fan club is there. They're pumping you hard. Show some love to Denzel, guys. Show more love.
Hey,
Show
guys.
him some more love, guys.
Hope you all are doing good. It's good to
Okay.
be here. It's another day.
Yeah, today is another day, of course. Are we ready to have B-Song in the building, guys? Are we ready to have him? B-Song's fan club, make some noise. Show him some love in the comment section, guys. Pump hearts. If you want to see B-Song on your screens, can you make some noise and more noise in the comments, guys? Make some noise. Are we ready to have B-Song? B-Song, I can see hearts. A lot of hearts for you. Single ladies are pumping more hearts than married women. Why is that?
Hello, Delhi. Hello, Denzel.
Hi, B-Song.
Hi,
Yeah, and
Bison. Welcome to the show. It's good to have you.
thank you, Delhi. Hello to our viewers. Once more, it's another Friday and another day for our relationship talks. Well, I'm so
Right,
happy today to be with you all.
right.
Let's kick start.
You guys look awesome, man. You're making these single ladies in the
Yeah,
comments.
we always do.
They're
We always
crushing
do.
on
We
you.
always
They're pumping
do.
that hearts, those hearts like that with some crush by the side. I can see stars in their eyes. Annie Goldish, I can see stars in your eyes. So you're gonna tell us, oops, Emma seems to have gone off. Okay, I hope that she connects again. Guys, pump us more hearts, okay? Because this is very important. This is a very important topic, and I hope that a lot of you are going to learn. Because at the end of the day, we are here to pass on what we have, and for you out there to learn, and of course, make your lives better regarding as far as your relationships are concerned. I was just about to bring Emanuela on stream, but of course, all right. Emanuela's fan club, are you guys ready for her? Are you ready to receive Emanuela? Make some noise in the comments, guys. She's in gold. Yeah? Emma, are you ready for us?
Sure.
I guess I took you by surprise there. Welcome,
Oh my
darling.
goodness.
It's good to have you.
Hi, Bison. Hi, Denzel. Hi,
Hello,
Delhi.
Emma.
Bison, why are you not smiling?
He does
You
that all
know,
the time. He does that. I think he does that especially when he sees you. I think so. Guys,
okay, I can smile
have
from
you
molars
noticed
to
what I'm saying
molars.
in the comments? Have you noticed that? This song is always mood swings as far as B is concerned. He's gonna kill me backstage after this. Okay, guys, pump us hearts
Okay.
now. Encourage us for us to start. You don't do much of those hearts. We're not starting. Okay? We're not
We need
starting.
hats. We need hats. We have a lot of hats.
We need a lot of hearts. We need a lot of it. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight to it, of course, because I know you guys are using data. Okay, I see many of you. I see Mr. Nze, I see Wendy Old, I see Bobby Nancy, Klein Muko. All of you, I see you, I see you, I see you. So yeah, let's talk about deadbeat dads. Like I said, it's been of recent we've had an upsurge of deadbeat dads, especially with the black community. It's a lot of, because we cannot talk about this topic without also mentioning, on the other hand, baby mamas or single moms. Okay, it's a lot of deadbeat dads out there right now, and the numbers keep increasing by the day. What is going on? What's happening that most of these men are being absent in the lives of their kids? What is happening that most of them are not taking responsibility like they should? Okay, what is really going on? I'm going to give the chance to each and every one of you to give an overview of the topic, okay, before we get into the nitty-gritties of it. Denzel, you want to go first?
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about deadbeat dads? What, in your opinion, is a deadbeat dad? Who, rather, is your...
Okay. I think we have done the introduction already to greet everyone. From a personality standpoint, I think I would prefer to go with absentees parent.
Yeah.
Because that makes a whole lot of sense to me. I think it's coming from a bunch of brokenness, a bunch of absentees, parents, like from origin, from our forefathers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's something that they have passed down to the new generation, and
Okay.
it's kind of like we are just continuing the circle until someone is aware that this thing is a negative pattern before they can break it down. I think that is what it is. I have a couple of white friends, and it's kind of unusual, but they believe that we black people, we have a very weird relationship with our children or the upbringing. I kind of feel like it stems from generation to like from our forefathers.
Okay.
But I'm glad we have the topic so we can throw more lights on it and people can get in different perspective. I think
Okay.
that's all I would say for now.
All right. Thank you so much for that beautiful start. Bisong, you want to go next?
Oh yeah, I'll be glad to. Thank you, Delhi. Once more, greetings to everyone. Deadbeat Dad. It's such the name sounds so cool. Like if you listen, Deadbeat, it's like the title of a song. But if you get into if you get into it, you realize that it's not something that should be as existing in our society. But
Right.
because it does exist, then we have to talk about it.
Right.
And then if we try to go into the details of it, like who is a deadbeat dad, most often the Western dictionaries will tell you it's someone who doesn't pay child support. To me, that's part of it, and it's so limiting, and that's what so many people think about it. But it doesn't mean if you don't pay child deadbeat dads are limited only to people who don't pay child support. Of
Right.
course, they are married people. They are parents who are married living together, but the father is still a deadbeat dad. So, and if we look at it, in the aspect of child support,
Interestingly.
yes, in the aspect of child support, is parenting limited only to finance? Of course, no. So when we get into the nitty gritty of it, we're gonna realize that so many ways in which people or fathers have become deadbeat dads, maybe voluntarily or involuntarily.
Involuntarily. Right. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Bisong. That was a beautiful one there. B, you want to talk on this? An overview of the topic, please.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So just to know, are you getting me well? Because the network was kind of shaking.
5 on 5.
Okay. So sure. So Bisong mentioned something about the definition of deadbeat dad. Something I saw and it was really limited. And we are going to say, like, I thought like that was really a foreign definition of a deadbeat dad. To me, it's more extended in our society, considering the fact that we are basing our discussion more on the African community. Deadbeat dad is really more than that. It's more than just supplying support for the child. It has a lot. And just to mention, some people might think that because they're physically present, that takes them out of the league of deadbeat dad. But that doesn't, it's really not the case, because if you're staying even with your child at home and you're not emotionally connected to your child, apart from the fact that you don't contribute in your child's life, maybe financially, you are still highly considered a deadbeat dad. So for all these, our fathers who only leave the house at 6 in the morning or maybe 5 a.m. and come back at 10 p.m. And maybe the child will always see you in the morning brushing your teeth to take the next outing. You can also be considered a deadbeat dad, especially when you don't care. I know some people are really quite busy and they try to really make their kids understand, like, as you can see, that is really busy, I'm not available. But you see here, we are really trying to talk about those people who do not care. They don't care what's going on in the lives of their kids will hardly see them. So I think it's really broad, and we will really end up seeing that a lot of people are in this trap, and the effects are tremendous. They're really negative. I was surprised. I'm trying to look at deadbeat dad, and then I see a writing on the pros of deadbeat dad. I didn't even read it. because I was like, I don't really
How does
understand.
this thing even have pros like that? How do you even get to a level where you have pros on deadbeat dads? I think they were just trying to play with words because it could never have pros. There's never.
I didn't even read, I was like, I want to use my time to read, like, they're not serious. So I'm really...
Maybe Denzel will tell us some of the pros of a deadbeat dad. I don't know.
Denzel, have you been a deadbeat dad at some point in time? Have you ever, for once, been a dad? You are a dad, okay? And it's good that we have at least somebody who is a dad on here. Okay, have you at some point felt like I've been less of a father, and what actually caused that, if yes?
Yeah, I think to be real, when you go into the true definition of what an absentee father is, like the way we just evaluate and explain it, it has been a time. If I say there hasn't been that moment, then I'm a big liar. Like there has been a moment where I did not give my 100%. And there has been a moment where I also show up and do more than what I was taught, or more than what was passed down to me. Okay. So it has been it's a complex thing, but I think I'm doing really well. I'm proud to say that I'm doing really well as a father.
Guys, can you put your hands together for Denzel, guys? Put your hands together for Denzel in the comment section. I mean, it's not easy to see a dad proudly say that, I'm doing really well, like he's putting his own horn, and which is really,
of course okay I'm not.
To do that. You guys want to pump hearts for Denzel? We want to see many of such examples, okay? Like we said, tag your friends, tag every one of them, even those without kids. This topic is very important to them. It's a lot of just like Emanuela said, she was trying to talk about, she said, somebody mentioned that there are pros and there are cons of deadbeat dads, okay? I want to think, assuming or playing the devil's advocate, to say that maybe the person was not trying to say, okay, there are advantages to it. Maybe the person was just trying to say there are reasons why people become deadbeat dads, and maybe for the lack of, or maybe he did not understand what pros and cons meant. He was trying to say there are reasons why these things happen. Do you really genuinely think that a man can abandon their kids like that and run away for whatever reason? Like intentionally, maybe not because of due to circumstances, rather.
Yeah, before I respond to you, Deli, I'll first of all want to say this, that there is no reason at all. There shouldn't be any reason. Like even in the deepest pit in hell, there shouldn't be any reason why a man will abandon his child and prefer to be a deadbeat dad and start giving excuses. There is no reason at all. Whatever it is, there is no reason at all.
Or maybe we say there's no justifiable reasons, because there's always reasons.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you for that. There's no justifiable reason why you should abandon. But still, if you ask every deadbeat dad, they're gonna give you reasons, of course.
Yeah, so, definitely. Yeah. Yes, that's what I want.
And one characteristics, that's where you pick out the characteristics of deadbeat dads. One characteristic is that they always show that the blames to the mother. Whatever happens, they try to show that. Ask him, mommy. Have you heard that phrase? Ask him, mommy.
Of course, yes.
Ask him, mommy. It's a typical phrase for all deadbeat dad. Ask him, mommy. Now, mommy, no. I don't try my best. You understand? These are their phrases.
You sound like one.
No, of course I can.
How do you know like that? Ask him. Have you lived with a deadbeat dad before?
I don't have my own child yet, but I have lived in, I'm from a society. I grew up in the suburbs in one of the not really like the suburbs of Cameroon, where we have this community lives where what is going on in this family, going on in this family. So I can easily bring out these things, So it's not like I've been a deadbeat dad
like,
before. It's not like
I get you. I get it. Guys, keep pumping hearts, okay? Pump us hearts and encourage us with your comments, okay? We will be projecting that later. B. Emanuela, of course, we're happy to see you on screen for the second round. It's amazing that you're still here, and we hope that you can hang on to the end of the show. Okay. Do you think? I think at the start of the show, Denzel, rather, I beg your pardon when I keep interchanging your names. Okay. Would you say that? Because he mentioned that, or something that has been in. Do you really think this thing is inherited? There's some of these dads. There's a part of this thing that is inherited. So, like your father was a deadbeat dad, and then it runs like that. Okay. Because if it's inherited, and then we are sort of recycling the syndrome. Whatever he meant, maybe he's going to clarify that on us on that. But I wanted you to speak just in case your internet goes off.
Okay. I don't know if I should call this inheritance, but it's cousins to inheritance actually. Because if you look at the things we grow up seeing, those are the things we find normal.
Yeah.
So it's possible that because your father was not available, you think it's just okay for you to replicate what the father was doing. So, I mean, you don't know what it means to give love. Neither do you even know what it means to receive love. So it's really very possible you do these things without knowing the repercussions, right. Especially if you don't even understand the effect it actually had on you.
Yes.
Okay, so let me just tilt us a little bit. I was trying to read on Deadbeat Dad, and they were trying to make some differentiations when it comes to daughters and sons in terms of the effect it has on each other. And right. I saw like they kept insisting like this really has a lot on daughters, because women will learn to love men from their fathers. So you know what it means to receive a male love, or let me say love from a male, the opposite gender, when you get that from your father. So your father has to teach you how to be loved and how to have some self-esteem. And so when you don't have this love, not just because your father was not present, but because you were not even loved by your father,
right?
You tend not to know the meaning of all of this. Are you getting me, Deli?
We can hear you. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you.
Are you getting me?
It's breaking a bit, but it's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I think. Yeah. Okay. I think maybe here I should just stop here and get off the screen so I don't put some points where.
Right. Denzel, coming back to you. Unfortunately, B left. Of course, she's going to connect. Sorry about that, guys. B, Emmanuel, I know you guys like listening to her. She's going to connect to WhatsApp, and then you get the audio version of her own takes. But of course, let's come back to Denzel. Denzel, you mentioned that this is something that has been passed down to us. You want to break that down so we understand. Are you in any way saying this is hereditary? Like, okay, this is cancer, could be seen in the bloodline, and then we get to see deadbeat dad as well. Is that what you meant? Can you shed more light on that, please?
Yes, Deli. Thank you once more. What I meant by that is, as adults, we are living a life that, let me say this, a greater part of our adulthood, it's the things that we experience growing up. So, like Emma said, the first love of a child is coming from your parent. And if your dad or your mom was an absentee, they were not in your life, it's evident that your emotional tank or your love tank is empty.
Right.
So it's kind of like you do not know the value of love because the person who was supposed to love you in the first place was not there. Okay, it's kind of like, I think a couple of days ago I had a conversation with Bison, and we're talking about money and the way people chase money and the way people chase love. I have coached a couple of clients. One thing I've noticed is that people who comes from a broken home, where like financially they are broke, emotionally they are broke. These people are very difficult for me to penetrate through them.
In terms of love.
In terms of love. In terms of love, yeah. And the clients that they came from rich homes, I can easily communicate with them. Like money is not really a dominant factor to them. So it's like we as human beings, we are chasing those things that we missed while growing up. And I strongly believe
so we tend to chase.
Yeah,
I see. We tend to change the things that we found we missed out on in our
child growing up. So when your parents are not there, it's clear that you do not know about love, and you kind of like, my dad was not in my life. So what is the essence? I don't even know the meaning of me being in my child's life. You know, so that was what I said. It's kind of like inheritance. But the good thing is this heritage can be broken. You can break down the circle. My dad was in my life, but it's like, you know, I love topics like this because I always speak from my own personal experience.
Right.
You know, my dad is an amazing father, but the things that I went through, I doubted it if he truly loved me. You understand? But he was a great father. And now that I am 37 years old, I forgave him. I've breaking all that the circle, because I knew, like, where is he coming from? He's coming from a broken place. That was his reality. He knew nothing about love.
You know, yeah, just to add to what you said, I read a quote sometime. I did put it on the platform actually, and I made mention that before you get to the realization of the fact that your parents were right, you probably have one or two kids who think you are wrong, and this goes especially, to the youngsters who always think their parents were wrong. And then before you start getting into discipline, you'll become a mother, and then you're getting into discipline. Then you understand the impact, I mean, the magnitude of all of what was happening, and you understand what your parents were going through. Okay, guys, pump us hearts in the comments. Okay, that was just an aside though.
So it's a kind of like, it's something that is very important for people to understand where they are coming from before you can break that circle. I think we mentioned last time, like consciousness is awareness. You know, when you are aware of these things, that you can break the vicious circle. If not, the pattern will continue. So that was what I meant. Like, it's inherited. Look at even men who abuses their wife. This will sound funny to you, but do you know that 90% of the race, 90% of people who abuses their wives have a kind of lineage with slave trade?
Oh wow! Oh, really?
During slave trade, these people were beaten, they were molested. So they kind of feel like they have taken that as a normalcy. It's normal for you to beat up, because it was passed down from generation to generation. They were exposed to these things. Even when you go to social psychology, your environment, all those, they have an influence into your life.
Wow.
When you look at the Indians, the Africans, the Jamaicans, even the Italians, these people had a kind of relationship with slave trade, and these people beat up their wives.
The Jamaicans listening to you before they get upset.
They will get upset, but I'm just saying the truth, because it is what it is. When you do your studies, you do your history, and you find out your research, you will see that these things have a kind of a connection.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So that was just exactly what I meant.
Thank you so much, Denzel. It's. I mean, also to hear you.
It's
things that, you know. And
it's interesting to know that beating is a gene.
Sorry.
It's interesting to know that beating could be a gene, that people like violence.
It's genetically connected, right?
It's like the baton. You know, you pass it down to the next generation. You pass it down to the next generation. But that is how life is.
I know, I get it. I just want us to, because we're a bit about to look at deadbeat dads and the reasons why they give. As much as, like I said, these reasons are not justified, before we get into solving the problem, we must be made to understand why this is, okay? I deal with a lot of these cases on the platform, and I'd love to have different views from you people, but most of what these men, the ones who are considered by, of course, if a girl comes and reports a guy to me, oh, this guy has been a deadbeat dad, this guy is not providing, this guy is all of this, okay? I try to talk to the guy, and majority of them would point fingers, just like Bisong said at the beginning, to the moms. Is there a chance, or can we look at the fact that some of these single moms or baby mamas are contributing to these deadbeat dads, regardless of whether this is not a justifiable reason to stay off your child? Is there something that the women are doing or the mothers are doing that is acting as a contributing factor to the absenteeism of the fathers? Bisong, I'd love for you to take that.
Okay, yeah, but please permit me, before I take that, I would just like to add something from what it reminds me of, from what Denzel and Emanuela said.
Right.
They made their points, yeah, about this, how Emanuela mentioned something, how being a deadbeat dad, it affects kids differently, be it a girl child or a boy child.
Right.
Yeah, and yeah, I just wanted to say that there are cases where a girl child who would never experience the love of a father, she doesn't know how. The other part of it is she doesn't know how she is supposed to be treated by a man. You know, because the first way a girl child would know what she expects from a man is from the way she's been treated by her father.
Exactly.
And once she misses this, of course, she's liable to settle for less. Because the question is, if my own father can't take care of me, you know, if my own father couldn't show me love, then any other man in the street that pretends to show her love, she won't be able to figure it out if this is true love or if she's just being manipulated. Or this is how, yeah. So the first way a girl child will learn her first love from the father before knowing how to make a right choice of choosing a husband.
Right.
Yeah. So
I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Or even seeing the how the father does it affect, does it go, or can we also relate this to how the father treats the mom? Is that connected?
Yeah, exactly. How the father treats the mom, it helps her in choosing. She sees all these things. It helps her in choosing what kind of man she's choosing for herself tomorrow. You know, she figures out. I remember one time, sometime back when I was in Cameroon, my kid sister making a family prayer. She did mention, I'm not giving credits to my dad, but sincerely, this honestly speaking, she mentioned in her prayers that she wants God to give her a husband that is like my dad.
Oh,
you know. Yeah. So yeah, these are really praises.
Wait. Can you guys make some noise for Bisong's dad, please? Make some noise for we hope that is going to be hereditary. That you're going to inherit that particular aspect of your father as well.
Of course. I look like him, exactly like him physically and mentally, you know.
You just said Papa.
So this is just an example. You see, this is just an example how my kid sister, she's rating her own man based on the way my dad treated us at home. So that's her standard. How she's gonna choose a man to in her own life. So it's very, very important. Okay, then I should go back now to your question about how if moms have influenced men becoming single dad. Actually, a lot has been happening between women and their exes or by the fathers of their kids. Let's not call it a justifiable reasons, but women have this tendency of transferring aggression, their emotional aggression, right, in affecting the relationship a father should have with their child. They go by affecting custody, like this. They try to limit custody, how often the man should see this child, you know. Because they have a bad relationship with the father of the child. Some women try as much as possible to create a father and child to to make a bad relationship between father and child. And of course,
if they cannot get at the father, then okay, they're gonna use
yeah,
the child as a bait.
yeah, they use a child as a bait or as a weapon. You know, if you don't do this, you're never gonna see this child again. Many women make statements like that. If you don't do this, you will not see this child. If you don't do this, I won't give this to this child. You know, at the end of the day, the child suffers, is the victim. You know, and this is a case, this is a situation where if a man is not mentally strong and emotionally strong, he won't know how to ignore all these things. He won't fight hard that no matter what she does, I'm still gonna fight to play a father role. Yeah, some men will just lean on this as an excuse, like, you know what, I'm see the pikin. Now you know, chop the pikin or yes, man, chop the pikin or you don't go in.
It's true for the most part, guys. Like I said, I deal with a lot of these things, and most often when these women come to me and complain about these deadbeat dads, when I get to talk to them, this is what I hear. Like, the woman is saying, for this part of the world, the West, we talk about child support. Back then, back in Africa, they say it's social services they have. In fact, money for take care for picking, like that, okay? So, I think, right, somebody's complaining about the views. Guys, just keep sharing. Share as you join, okay? So, I am thinking, can we say at some point, in as much as these guys are giving these excuses, maybe, Emmanuel, I want to take on this. Are you there? Maybe on the woman's part, the woman is thinking, you are bad influence based on your lifestyle to this child. Could we also look at it in that light? Emmanuel, are you there? Your volume is really down. I'm not sure. We can't hear you. Let me see if I can hear you. Can you just keep talking? Let's see if we can hear you.
Hear me?
Yes, 5 on 5 now. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so you were talking about the woman giving an excuse of the man being a bad influence in the child's life.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, I mean, I found that I just find that a little bit, it's funny. I feel like laughing. Yeah, I mean, like, because I'm really dumbfounded to say that a woman will make that as an excuse to keep a child away from the father. Why do I say so? So he's good on the bed.
Well, let's keep the bed part aside. The child has nothing to do with the bed part. You could be an expert.
I'm going somewhere, Debbie.
All right.
So maybe let me learn. So he is good for you to make a child with, but he's not good as an influence in the life of the child. That's what I mean.
Yes.
So if you can make a child with somebody, how did you bypass the fact that he's a bad influence?
Well, if you're asking if that is a question that has to be answered, it's one thing to have sex with somebody. There are lots of reasons why girls, they could have a one-night stand. It could be all of the reasons they could give. People don't necessarily have sex and get pregnant because, like I said, I wanted to say that sex is not fatherhood. Okay, relationship is not fatherhood. It's a different thing altogether. So if you're not a good man to me, you must not necessarily. It doesn't translate to meaning you should not be a good man to your child. Answering your question.
Yeah, it doesn't translate, but I am not the one to make that excuse, right?
Yeah, no, we're just talking about the excuses they give, like, that. And I tried to flip the point from what Bison was saying that, this is, so it could be that they tend to keep the children away from the men, and thereby causing all of these things happening, and the child is the one suffering. I'm like, could it possibly be that the man is a drug? It could be a child molester. What if it's a man that sleeps with kids? You did not know about that. You don't want to keep your child, and then you realize that he has a history of that. You want to keep your child away from him. At that point, is it justified, or do we, like we said, there's no reason why a woman should keep, because women in the comments, they have all of these reasons they are given.
So this is what I was trying to drive to the.
Yeah.
I have my way of looking at all of those things. And this is it. If I have a one-night stand with a man and I become pregnant, the man, maybe he never sees my child because I didn't know his character. I didn't know if he's going to be a good father to my child. And I decide to keep my child away from that man. Trust me, I won't want to give him the name of deadbeat dad. I won't want to. So when I am looking at the deadbeat dad, I'm looking at two people who might not have necessarily agreed to have a child, but they were having a relationship really going on. And then it happened that the child came up, and one person is kind of shifting away from this responsibility. Because in us really handling the cases of people having one night stand, we have a lot of those things. A lot of men who had one night stands and they have no idea that they even have children out there. And to put them under this umbrella of a deadbeat dad, I really would not want to put them there personally. So what I'm saying about me not being the one to give this excuse is if I decide to have this one night stand and I later discover, okay, he's a drug dealer or something like that, okay, I keep my child away from you, but I shouldn't complain. We are talking about these things because people tend to complain. They tend to complain about it. That's why it's a topic of discussion. So I even shouldn't complain. I shouldn't even try to look like I'm complaining and reporting the man. So that's exactly why, I was just trying to think, giving a reason why I should keep the father of a child. That should really not be the reason. Personally, I think the reason why I can keep a child away from the father is because you do not identify your child in the beginning. You didn't want to be the part of the child's life. Then I feel like, okay, at one point, okay, you never wanted to be a part of this child's life, then you can go. But if it's something you're there, you're responsible. Why don't you play your part if you can?
Okay, we get you. On that point, I was just trying to show that there could be reasons. Personally, if a man is proven to be a molester, a sexual molester, if a man is proven to be a drug dealer, if a man is proven to be all of what those examples that is not supposed to be, that's not exemplary to my child, there is a tendency. It's not me. Like we said, this is not up to us to answer. There are loads of people. But like I said, we are dealing with reasons why different women are given. And even if you're not completely leaving this child away from the man, I think there's an extent to which you would put some measures. Okay, there's such an extent. So we might not completely say we're cutting the child away from the man if this man is all of these things we've mentioned. We might just put some boundaries to say you're not the time, maybe the time limit that you have to spend with the child, maybe the environment that the child has to spend with you, and all of these. Not hoping that you are working, because if you don't want to expose your child, it will be better for a woman to be a single mom altogether than to have a father who is sexually molesting their child. I personally think that way. I think so. So
Of course, that's the point. Like you rightly said, it's not like cutting the child away from the father completely, especially if the child wants to be a part of the child's life. But of course, you make some measures.
Yeah.
Because, for example, you know that this man is a drug addict. You know maybe he's a robber, organized thief. You won't want to have your child spending night with him.
Of course, yes.
Because you don't know if this is the life we're going to. Yeah, so I think it's pretty obvious in that direction.
Okay, before I get back to Bisong and Denzel, I would love to take some comments, some of the comments. Georgiana Are is saying, yes, if he didn't step up at the beginning, then no need. You want to talk on these comments, because that's what I think what Emma was hitting at against. Like,
yes,
Georgiana thinks if a man doesn't step up, and this brings us back to deadbeat dad starts from pregnancy, guys. We're not just talking about children. Guys, you in the comments should understand that it starts from pregnancy. It starts from the moment that you planted a seed inside a woman. And so, because most often the woman is left with, and like I said, I'm not justifying the reasons these women give. I could play devil's advocate. I could come back at some point and talk for the men or talk for the women. Now, let's take a case scenario, and the men will talk about it. Now, you have gotten a girl pregnant and you run away, like Georgiana Are is trying to say. Now, I'm not for the fact that, run away, and then if you come back, we don't take you. Now, I want to see you to understand what goes through the mind of some of these women when it happens. The woman comes to you and you turn her down. You reject her. Most likely, maybe the family, you know how our setup is in Africa, because most of these things we say predominantly African setup. You send the woman away. The family even chases this woman away. This woman struggles with the pregnancy, nothing to eat, fends for this child up to the point where maybe the child is even about 5 years old or more. And then this man shows up just like that. I need us to be factual in handling this. I'm not of the opinion that the man should not come and you should not. But can we hit hard on these people who think I can just show up at any time, and because I'm ready to start taking responsibility, it becomes okay? And Bison, you want to talk on that? There's a first.
Yes. There is something I would really like people to understand. Because a man can get a woman pregnant doesn't mean that this man understands the concept of fatherhood or what parenting is all about. Okay, right. We are talking as if having a child is something that is specific to adults. Teenagers get themselves pregnant. Okay, and what do you expect from a teenager who gets to pregnant? Let me say two teenagers comes together and the lady ends up getting pregnant. You do not expect this guy to man up his game. He's a boy. What does boys do? They run around. They go clubbing. They run away from responsibilities. These are the things that young people do. And just because he got pregnant, he will not jump from a boy to a man. You need to go through those stages. Okay. So I kind of feel like we are talking like adulthood is the only thing that makes a man, like when you are adult, that you can become that person who is responsible. No.
Are you in any way now saying that, okay, because he's not up to an adult, he's not supposed to be responsible for their child? If you're having sex, you're having sex and knowing about the consequences.
There are so many people who are having, we cannot dismiss the fact, there are so many people who are having sex without knowing the repercussion of it. They are going in for pleasure, and when a child comes in, what do you expect?
So who is to blame? The child? Not the child. It's not the child. It's not the woman. It's not the man.
It's not the child. The two of them, the mom and the dad, the two infants, the two adolescents, the two teenagers, they are the ones to be blamed. Okay, I had my first daughter when I was already 28. We had that conversation with my ex-girlfriend, like, hey, I think we have been together for a couple of years. Why can't we have a baby? And I can tell you from experience that conversation was still not deep. It takes time to be a man. The fact that we were all over the place talking and doing things like that didn't mean that like we understood what we were doing. What I'm trying to explain is when you are young, you do things for young people. We know this. When you are 20, let's say 18-year-old got a woman pregnant, it's obvious that before this man comes to his right senses, it's after 10 years, probably will be 28. And
we get you, but this is why you and I are here, to talk to those who are listening, who are engaging themselves in sexual activities and understanding that sex and pregnancy is one of the consequences of it, to know what it entails, what fatherhood entails. Because if you sit there and say, oh, after 10 years, then before they get themselves, that will be a reason for some other dad who can potentially learn it, because I think these things are learned. You can learn how to get into it and be there for your child. And like I said, if you are having sex, you're mature enough to handle the child. If you are handled, if you want to, you become intentional about it. No, if you are having sex, we get to teach the younger generation that if you are beginning to have sex, you can then be sure to handle the repercussions. You can't have a baby and you expect society and everybody to take care of them in the guise of, this is 10 years, it's been 10 years, I have to man up only after 10 years and all of that. That's why I'm trying to say no to.
I get your point, Dolly. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying the guy should come after 10 years. Okay, you can have sex. You know that the repercussion of sex, on safe sex, is pregnancy. Without you still understanding or knowing that you can take care of that child, it takes a whole lot to father a child or to mother a child. So the best thing I would tell people, like in that situation, is to close your leg, because the consequence is a baby, and you cannot take care of a baby. You need a certain age or certain understanding before you can understand what it takes to raise up a child. It's not something that you just wake up and you embrace it.
For those, we're talking about those who've already had the children now. That
Okay,
one now,
so
that
those who
education, for
already
those
have
who
the
have not
kids,
had, they should know. Those who
yes,
have had girls, especially the men who have gotten women pregnant at this point in time, are you saying we should give them a 10 years gap for them, especially the young ones, to go and get themselves ready before they come and take up the responsibility of fatherhood?
no, I'm not saying we should give them 10 years. What I'm saying is, okay, let's say these adults who are already in this situation, right? We have to look at both sides of it. For the women, okay, for the ladies, stop pushing these men away because they were not there in the beginning. The bottom line is these children, this child, they will still need their parent. There is something in developmental psychology they call attachment theory. It's like it's been related to caregiver. These kids, whoever shows concern related to this child, has a very great influence to this child as they are growing up. So instead of you pushing up, like pushing away pushing away the father, you are affecting this child. Okay, so what you have to do is, like Bison said, take control of your emotion. He was not there 3 years ago or 4 years ago. He's coming now because he wants to man up the game. For the benefit of doubt, I wouldn't like to do that. Okay, but because I have a child, I have to put my emotions down. Let me say this. People will think maybe I'm bragging, okay, but I just have to say it so people will learn from it. My first daughter is 9. I've been out for almost 8 years now that I've been out. Delhi, I've not left my 8-year-old daughter for 1 month without a feeding fee. For 1 month without, I don't even have money, but I've not left I've not left her for 1 month without a feeding fee. Before she came to Europe, okay, I think about 5, close to 6 years, I called her not on WhatsApp, on direct call for 6 years, every Sunday. Every Sunday.
Wow,
for 6 years.
That's awesome, man. I love to
If I
hear
could
that.
not get to her, if I could not get to her on Sunday, I'll do that on Monday. Okay, this is what it is now. Despite all these activities, my relationship with her mom is still not that effective. But I had to put my pride down because I know the connection that I'm trying to build with my child. So
I love
that,
Denzel. I love that aspect. That's how.
So what I'm telling other men and women out, especially to the women, because you will notice that most often the men wants to come in, but the women are pushing this man away because he was not there in the beginning, or because he did not end up settling with them.
Okay, this is the conversation we all are having. That do you also now you have gone, you've built up yourself after 10 years. Has it occurred to you that at this point when you are coming back, what has happened in this woman's life for 10 years? I'm not, like I said, I would never justify these things. That's why we're having this show. Just so that when you are giving your excuse and giving the reason why maybe you were not there and you're coming and ready to be a man, do you know what has happened in this woman's life for 10 years or 5 years that you were not there? The impact it's had on her, what she went through. So when you come as a man, understand that it is not just going to be a yes for you. I'm trying to make the men understand that. Yeah, Bison, you're going to come. Let me just round up.
I want to tell them.
You want to beat somebody here first?
No,
because it's a lot that has happened. Like I said, this woman, remember, think about pregnancy, all of what happens to us. And I always tell young ladies, they are the ones at the losing end. When pregnancy happens, for the most part, they lose a lot. Physically, they're the ones who are lost, are losing things. They're adding weight. They're dropping out of school. They're dropping out of work. They're losing their relationships with their parents. They are having a lot of responsibilities, most likely losing a lot of things, stretch marks. I want us to look at these things and then abandon with a baby. Sometimes these babies are twins and triplets. Now then a man just walks in. That's where I want us to really hit hard on. You see that connection where the sudden realization of yourself, Denzel, at that point, that could be when the woman is making a U-turn of having to want you. The way you made a U-turn, this is because men would think the women should understand that they were not having. That's why I was trying to say no. You think that we would, and it is understandable that you are not man up. Maybe the man did not have that. On the woman's own part, she has this long rope she's been dragging. Trust me, each and every day you left, she was waiting for you to come back. She's been looking at her phone for 5 years, hoping that a text will come from you. The moment you have suddenly decided you want to man up, that could be her breaking point and say, you know what, I'm done. And I'm going to do this all by myself. So there is that disconnect. I'm talking to the men listening to me. Why sometimes you come and the women say no to you? But it should, like Denzel said, it should not. At the point when Denzel is having a conversation with her daughter, they were not at talking terms with his ex. Just so you see how much of a father he wanted to be in his child's life, he's going to break all the barriers that are on the way, just like the woman did as well. Denzel, Bison, you've been coming. I just wanted to clarify also
Denzel, I wanna, I get you so well, but first, before I say what I have to say, I want to tell you this, that being a deadbeat dad is a coherent something. It's not a one day, because every father on earth, if you have to take it, if I have to judge it from your perspective or from the point you just made, I want to tell you, every father on earth, every single father on earth has been deadbeat for at least 1 or 2 hours in his life. What do I mean? Is that there is always a moment that the behavior of a child or maybe a family situation, what's going on, it's annoying to the man, and he neglects things at home for a while, maybe to calm himself down. At that point, you won't look at this man and say he's a deadbeat dad, because for 2 hours or even maybe for a day, he decided to disconnect himself from his family, maybe because of some problem. You won't call him a deadbeat dad. But who will call you a deadbeat dad when your relationship, you maintain this disconnection with your family for a long period, and you don't even make an effort. You come up, we know we have this deadbeat dad, they call them the excuse fathers. You come with excuse. The apologetic ones, you apologize.
People run away from their responsibilities.
Exactly. You just run away like that from your responsibilities. You see? So if we have to really look at the situation, I'll go back now when we talk about our teenagers who get themselves involved in sexual activities and they get girls pregnant. If you go and you come back after 5 years, you don't expect this lady to just welcome you as if you are Father Christmas. She wasn't waiting for you. You understand? You, this 17-year-old boy and this 17-year-old girl who got engaged in sex and the girl got pregnant, you left. This girl, she wasn't even, biologically, she was ripe enough to be a mother. But is she ripe mentally as a mother? But she had to carry the load. She had to go through all this. She had to do all this. She had to do all this. And then at some point, you're coming after 5 years. Maybe because you've seen the child has grown up, looking so handsome or is doing well, and now you want to show up as the father. And then you just want to be received. That point, to me, is the biggest test for the man's life. This is a point where you will need to insist, you will need to persist in everything you are doing as a father. You will need to put much more effort, do as much. I like the way our topics are going. I don't know if our followers they are really coherent, because if you look at this, let's link to it from when we talked about DNA, this DNA stuff. If there is no DNA from the beginning, then there shouldn't be any later on. Because if you are not there at the beginning, my brother, trust me, if you come back later and there's another man there for you, then you lost it. To me, a girl, if I were a woman and I got pregnant for a man, let me land, please. If I were a woman and I got pregnant for a man and he disappears and comes back after 5 years, if he comes when I have another man in my life, my brother, that pikin will be a pikin. You understand? There is no way, and I will not even go for any DNA. You understand? So if you come back and you meet the girl still single, thank your God. Start worshiping her and persist. You must do in your actions as a father to show that you are serious. Because let me tell you, there's this quality, there's this class.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you talking about coming into the woman's life or coming into that child's life? I don't care about the woman. I'm not coming into the woman's life. I'm talking
even
about
to the child's life.
But then
even to
our
the
focus is to the child, not to the woman.
Excuse me, the mother is the protector of the child. The mother decides.
No, but when you talk about
who comes into the child's
life, it's like you want to get into another romantic relationship with her.
No, into the child's life. You can't get into just you've not been there from day one and you come back after 5 years. You can't get into the child's life without passing through the mother. It's like going to God, passing through Jesus, going to God. You understand?
Yeah, it's a better
you can't now. It's not magic.
But when you just say that coming into the girl's life, a lot of us viewers might be thinking that you're coming to establish another relationship.
No, that's not what I mean. You understand?
Okay,
because
guys.
let me tell you, let me just conclude, please. Because when I was looking at the types of deadbeat dads, you understand, we have what we call the pop-up dads, the pop-up like popcorn. You know, when you put the hot corn in put the corn in hot oil, it just pops up. They come, and the characteristics of this pop-up dads is that they show up on important events. When the child has baptism, graduation, they come for graduation. They come and
even
boast.
talking about the ones who even show up. The ones who even show up. Some never show up.
Yeah, they come and boast on graduation, and people hail, hey, my papa, that the papa don't finally come. You disappear. You wait for baptism. You come again baptism. You come and open your chest. You come and flood the pikin. So you must be there. You must do this consistently, that the mother must believe the father is finally back.
Visong, thank you so much for that. We'll get back to Denzel. Emanuela has been on pause for a long time. Can we hear you talk, Emanuela?
See, this song is even talking about popcorn dad. Those ones they even come. I mean, if they even ask the child, who is your father? The child can say, my father is Mr. John, and point to the face of Mr. John.
Mm-hmm.
There are those fathers who will not show up, like what Denzel is trying to she's trying to defend something there. I don't get the whole point. Like, you get a woman pregnant because you're not mature and you want to come back 10 years later. She's also not mature. And this case, we're even talking about, like, in most cases, we know the women are always younger, right? I mean, she's even younger than you. And she doesn't understand all of this. She has to go through the late night, like taking care of this child all by herself, going through the stress of you running away, and then come back and then you want to show up 10 years and you want to talk about blood is thicker than water. I would drain that child's blood and change it.
Emma, can I ask you a question? Emma, I have a question for you, Emanuela.
Emanuela, Denzel has a question for you before you continue.
There's one minute, please. So you will not come and tell me, Denzel, that blood is thicker than water. This time around, water is surely thicker than blood. Now,
ice water.
Emma
mentioned something, and Denzel was trying to ask about if that you want to come back for a romantic relationship with a woman. No. This child that you left for 10 years has been attached to the mother. Meaning, there's no way you can get to this child without getting through the mother. Even if you're not coming for a romantic relationship, this woman was not waiting for you like for the past 10 years without getting into a relationship. And look at this, this is what happens. Most women watching us here, every time we read their comments, anyone who comes into my mind, into my life,
must accept my child.
Without accepting my child should bounce. This is what we women see. Now, this gentleman comes in, says, okay, I don't have a problem that you're a baby mama. I'm checking you on your child. Is it okay for me to compare your child to my own? And we're like, yeah, it's okay. And for the past 10 years, this child's been calling somebody a daddy. And then you show up 10 years later to say, hey, no, you know, I'm mature, blood is thicker than water, I want my child. I will change that blood. That child will now have the blood of
Emanuela, no, no, you thought for no reason should they reject child for people. Now you don't come back for you say.
You were not getting me. I said that is the reason, because you were talking about the father's attitude. I said if that is the reason, I don't find that good enough.
Okay. I get you, and I think your point has been made, which is fair enough. I'll go back to Denzel. I want us to talk about this. Denzel, or I think it's Bison that has to take this, but let's just talk with Denzel. Like I said, I've dealt with all manner of cases on here, and we deal with these cases, all of us. It's not just me dealing with, like we see it. And most of these examples that we see on here are really, things that we can situate them with different exceptional cases like that. But again, these are excuses that the men are giving. Some of them would say that still on the part of the woman, the man has come, as Denzel is trying to say, let's give a listening ear now to the man. The man has now come and say, I'm sorry that I left you with pregnancy. I'm sorry that I left you with all of these things. But the man is trying to, for the sake of the child, for how long are you supposed to withhold the child? Are you going to leave? Because Emma, I know them today, I think say I'll drain the blood. Now lie. At some point we will fix that. No, drain no picking blood for eating.
Deli, I would love a man to answer this question. I would love a man to answer this question.
Sorry?
I would love a man to answer my question.
Yes, Denzel is asking a question, Emma. You have to answer Denzel's question. Yeah. Denzel, go ahead before I come with what I was saying.
Yes, Emma, what would you do in a situation where your child is 28 or 30 years old and the child said he or she is going to look?
I'm not getting Denzel quite well, please.
You can't hear Denzel.
I said, what would you do?
Okay, say it. I'll translate it. Yes, go.
Okay,
go
what would she do? What would she do in a situation where this child has grown up to become an adult, that they can make up their own decision, and he or she wakes up one beautiful day that I'm going to look for my dad? We have seen those situations.
Did you get him?
Yes. I think I got Denzel, even if not quite completely.
What would you do in a situation where the child wakes up at like 20, 30 years and be like, I want to? At that time, he or she is independent. At that time, he or she is considered as an adult. So, and they want to make their decision of going back to their dad. You always say one drain blood for picking skin. No drain another direction.
At that time, right, the PA wrote to back the blood and not drain them. That was an outside, but I get those questions quite all right. And yes, it's obvious. The way I'm going to be holding my 20-year son or my 30-year son, it's true. We might have this discussion like many mothers have been doing, telling their kids, we have been seeing these cases coming up there, telling their kids, stay away from your father's family because of this or that, but we still get them out there wanting to see their fathers. It's okay.
A lot of them happen. Yeah, it happens on the platform a lot of times. Yeah.
Yes,
Deli, I want
at a point where I have full control over my child's life at a time. My child is still a baby and not a baby as such.
But again, Emma, it's still playing with Denzel. Let me stand on Denzel's side. Don't you think it's a waste of time and effort? What's the entire essence of keeping the child away from the father, and then the child will still go? I'm trying, like I said, I'm playing both. Are they for all league, right?
Deli, I want to respond Denzel with a question. I want to respond Denzel with a question.
Okay, yes, Emma, you don't answer that question. Maybe Denzel take this other question.
I'll respond to Denzel.
Yes, Bison.
Denzel, you said, what if the child at the age of 20 or 30 decides and says, I want to go look for my father? I want to ask you, if the child says that, what do you think the child is going after? Why is he or she going for the father? What is she going to look for?
Probably going to look for his or her identity, where she comes from.
Exactly. Is it love? Is it love? It's not love. But what does a child need from a father? It's love and care. But at that age, if you leave the child at that age till 28 without providing this love and care, the only reason the child will look for you is to find identity.
Well, if I can come in at that point, it was Denzel, answer your question. Finish your
question. Just like you said, the greatest gift a parent can give a child is love, right? Okay, exactly. But situations have happened in that early stage. This man ran away, was in the bush, he ran away, okay? Now, this woman, the best you can do is try to create a situation, try to create a conducive environment for both of these people. Love is very important. That is where I will keep hooking up. You cannot deprive this child. When you empty this child's tank of love, You are preparing this child for a disaster in the future. So as a parent, sometimes we need to put our ego, our emotions down, whether this man was there in the beginning or not. Besides, just get this for me, there is no reason that a man should run away. But he ran away because people choose the easy way. Most of the time, young people run away. Now he has said that he is coming back. My bro, the best you can, I am a father, I have two little girls. The best you can do is, hey, create that relationship back to these people. You did your best. You did your best. Like they talk about all the trauma the woman went through and all that. I acknowledge all that. It's a fact. But depriving this child from the real thing, which is love, you're not helping it. You're not helping it.
Denzel, the woman is not depriving the man from the father of the child from the child. She's just being careful. She's just safeguarding.
No, they are depriving. I'm talking from first-hand knowledge from this platform.
Excuse me, Deli. You've not been there for 5 years and you've just come up now. We don't know who you are. It's time. And again, excuse me. I told you in one show, in one of our shows, I told you that we don't tell our kids that this is your father. Kids grow to know their father. Nobody tells them that this is your father. So no matter what the mother does, right? If you persist and insist in showering your care and love, that child will grow to know you.
Okay,
that's that.
Like I said, let me play on Denzel's own team. You're talking about the child, why the child is going out there and rightly, Denzel rightly said, going out to look for identity. You know, do you know that having to deprive the father of the child at some point in time, the father, you cannot see it. You can only be a mother. Let us get this thing right. As much as you play both roles, still doesn't mean that the role of the father is not absent. I don't care how apt you are at being a mother. I don't care how organized and how meticulous you are at being all of that. The role of the father is still vacant. It is still vacant. Regardless of how we try to define it. And if a child wakes up and says that, I want to look for my father, first of all, it's not just identity. It could be lack of fatherhood that he or she is missing. That is taking her out, he or she out there. Because if, like you guys are saying, if the child was fine and everything being equal, everything was okay, why would I go to look for an absentee dad? Why would I be going to look for him? If the love was there, and again, what is love? Like you're saying, the most important thing to give. What is love? At this time, what is love? Because you want to show all the I love you, and there's financially, you're not there, spiritually, you're not there, and all of that. I'm trying to say that we should balance it just so that some women don't take this thing overboard, and men as well don't take these things overboard. Okay, let us come back.
Like Karin says, I prefer once you leave, you're dead and gone.
No, and this is the narrative I'm trying to debunk, and I'm trying to say no, it should not be like that. Look here, see, ladies, I think this show don't make over talk today when I'm supposed to be moderating. See here, the choices we make, I think we should talk about the choices because it has a lot to play. Before you get into, Bisong mentioned that, and of course, this is not a topic on sex and all of that, but there's no gainsay that these things are interrelated. Sometimes it is the choices you decide to make, and then you want to cry foul at the end of the day. You saw, Emma mentioned at some point, you saw that a man where he wear 3 paragraphs of trouser. You thought that was the Emma, we talked that till last time. You are interested in 3 paragraphs of trouser. Picking don't come now. And even the way he treats you, or we've said these things. Bisong said, he look at the topics we're bringing up, he feels like, it's divinely orchestrated. I'm trying to say that the choices you make, the repercussions will follow thereafter. Sometimes we cry foul when we are the first, we are the cause of our predicament. We are. Sometimes the way a man, if the man, I made this statement sometime, and Emma, you want to touch on this again. If a man listening to me you're still maybe Bisong, ma put on for Bisong. If you don't get pick back home or some dog or some pussy where you take care for, if you buy chop for the pussy, take care for the pussy, feed the pig, clean the pig fence. Test your fatherhood skills then, for even for animals, before getting a child into this world, for those who are yet to have that. Because most of the times, you people think it's just bonbon, and then you think, say, okay, we'll just assume, say, you're never ready for fatherhood and all of that. And then, bam, everybody is not ready for everything, but when the repercussions show up, we face them. Emma, I want you to come in on this side. Let's talk about the different aspects that we expected. We're expecting a father to play the roles, rather. A father is supposed to play in the life of a kid. We've really belabored the financial part, okay, and touch on the emotional part. Maybe we want to talk on another thing as well. What other roles is the father supposed to be? In what capacity is the father supposed to be there? And when it's lagging, you're also considered as a deadbeat dad.
Okay, Dolly, please, before I say that, I want to say I have this impression that we are kind of even limiting this discussion to baby mamas and baby daddies. If you see, we've really belabored a lot, and we're talking about men who abandon kids and disappear. You know, when I hear about deadbeat dad, personally, the first thing that comes to my mind is usually not even a baby daddy who ran away. It's that father at home.
Yeah, it's a father at home. Right.
Yes, it's that father at home who is not even available yet they are married. So he didn't even abandon the child. Well, the child sees the father every morning. If you know my opening statement, I even said this child will see the father just every morning brushing his teeth to go out there.
That's what I was saying. You get into talk about the other aspects, yes.
Before the father, the child even asks the father, Daddy, good morning. Good morning. Daddy, my school fees, ask your mother. Daddy, our teacher said, you don't know what I'm doing. What to tell me. We have a lot of deadbeat dads watching us right now. I kind of feel like, they were cheating their shoulders, being happy, like, no, they talk about
Yes.
You see that thing that you have another home that you've created somewhere, you have 5 kids somewhere, another family, and your wife has no idea about it, and that's where you're concentrating. And your kids cannot see you. You're officially married or legitimate sons and daughters. Cannot get hold of home because you spend 5 days with a side chick and her kids, and you spend 2 days at home. That makes you a deadbeat dad.
Right.
Yes, like you're talking about, like we've talked about this financial and emotional. It's a bit difficult for us to really get completely out of it because for the spiritual part, if we want to talk about that, I won't really, personally, I can't really relate to that kind of because in that case, we talk about marriage more, right? Like that before you got married, you knew your man was not spiritual, you knew all of this.
No, then if we have to do that, then we also know that the man was not all of that. He was not a good man and all of that. The role that the spiritual aspect of this, when we talk about you being an absentee father spiritually, is a deadbeat. There's a deadbeat tendency there. Okay, because like we said, we're not limiting to just emotions and finances. It's a lot of other things. What are the roles of a father? Maybe I coined the question again, just so we know. If we touch the roles of a father, we would see when it's absent. We know that these are things that you have to work on, or this is you are deadbeat as far as this is concerned. You get the point?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me talk about this. It's both the responsibility of the mother and the father to make sure that the child is doing well in school or not doing well in school. So if the child has issues, sometimes the child might come back home with homework, and it's the father with mathematics or physics.
Yes.
And could you just be there to help your child out with things like this? Now, when we talk about sitting home as a family time where you can even ask your kids about how their lifestyle, what's happening, what's going on. If if you cannot do this, you're a deadbeat dad.
Right.
Because we have a lot of women watching us now who do not even know what's going on in the lives of their children.
Exactly.
I don't know where I read this. I don't know if it's one of some of those the pages that actually traumatizes us with stories like that. A woman was crying out about the fact that her daughter was being raped, and when she called the father of this child to tell the man that the daughter has been raped, the man was like, "Who gives a damn? Where was she going to?" And this is a child, this is a teenager, like not even, I don't think the child was up to 10 years old, if I can get the story. She had to struggle to take this child to the hospital. She had to do all of this because she felt all of this. And now, you think you're not a deadbeat dad maybe because you're staying with this child at home. You are. So I think as a father, you need to know the well-being of your child. As your wife is checking your child, you need to also check your child. You need to make sure you're paying the fees. It's not always ask for Namanu.
Exactly.
You need to make sure your child is well about your child's health condition. You need to check all of this. And as a deadbeat dad, or not to be a deadbeat dad, avoid this situation of, because you have a problem with your wife at home, you transfer aggression to your kids. So each time you're not doing well with your spouse, you people are not in talking terms, automatically the kids, you people are not supposed to be in talking terms. When you come back to your children, by the time you're coming back, you're like a nightmare. You know, some children even give their fathers funny nicknames. You don't come, is this. So by the time you're coming, your kids are getting into the room.
Right.
If you are a father watching us, I just want to take us away from this boyfriend, girlfriend stuff. If you're a father watching us, and each time you're coming home, your children are getting into the room, meanwhile, you were outside getting them discussing in the parlor. Then ask some questions, ask yourself some personal questions. Put your kids down, talk to them, and question them. And now, in as much as we say it's the responsibility of the mother, because she knows what it means for a woman to go through whatever, to put her daughter through, even though for me, I always say children, put your children through. But fathers also take this responsibility of impacting in their sons what it means to be a man, what it means to be a father. So you do this by example, you do this by talking about it always. So if you don't have the talking time with your kids, let your kids learn from you. I started by saying this in the beginning, but they get those things from you. They know what it means to treat a woman from the way you treat their mother. They know what it means to treat a woman or to be a man from the confidence you give them. They know what it means to be a daughter and be well treated from the way you treat their mother, from the way you treat them as a daughter. Let me take this to a discussion you and I always have, and I think you've mentioned this many times. The relationship you had with your father before he passed on to glory. You always say this thing, I have so much time with your father, but the love he impacted in you as a daughter is what will make you have this confidence. You know what it means when you're not loved. And some people will say out there, no, the least too hard and she's, no. That's not the point of it. It's just because we have been differentiated from a lot of women out there who do not know what it means to be loved and to dwell in self-love and self-esteem.
Exactly. We've had that. Don't worry. Okay, we'll take you back. Okay, let's take a short break, and then when we come back, we can talk about more of the roles of the father. Thank you so much for that contribution. Insightful.
Hey, darling.
Hello, honey.
I brought you this.
You got me a new blender.
Oh, yes. Thanks to the more money I've been receiving through Moneyfix.
How come?
I receive more money through Moneyfix because they have the best exchange rates as compared to the last senders I was receiving.
Meaning you've been saving more?
Oh, yes. Use Moneyfix to receive more for less from abroad with their best exchange rates and save more. Always find the best rates to Cameroon with Moneyfix. Receive more money through Moneyfix today. Moneyfix, fast, easy, and cheap money transfer service to Cameroon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just joining, this is Relationship Hot Topics with B Song, Denzel, and B Emanuela. We are today talking about deadbeat dads and the impact on our kids, okay? We've been on and on about a lot of these things that are happening, the role of the mother, the role of the father. We are saying that it takes two to raise a child. God don't do ugly, like you always hear me say. It took two of you to bring this child into the world, so it should take two of you to raise the child. Whether or not you are married to the father, yeah, or the mother, whether or not you are in the child's life, whether or not you are in the same location, because these things are all the excuses that we give. Okay, we're trying as much as possible to build a community where parents begin to understand the importance of parenting, the importance of and the impact the absence has on the kids. Because no matter what they say, when two elephants are fighting, what suffers is the grass. And in this situation, the grass is usually the kids. They are the innocent one. They did not bargain for that. They did not apply to be born. You decide to do what is meant for adults. And if you are an adult, you did what you had to do. You brought a child into this world. And regardless of your differences with your partner, you are not supposed, in any circumstance, to abandon this child. But we're talking about, we said deadbeat dads, they're deadbeat moms as well. Because if we're talking about fatherhood being and motherhood being responsibility, it also means it applies to in the side of the woman that it doesn't just suffice for you to bring a child into this world. It doesn't just suffice for you to carry a baby to term and then say, okay, am I picking this? Now my this and that, and all of this. It is responsibility. So as much as we talk about deadbeat dads, we should also talk about deadbeat moms. So they are moms who are not taking responsibility of the children. They are not the perfect example of what a child should grow up to be. And in that case, like I said, on the other hand, is a deadbeat. But before we picked up this a particular topic, we did talk about this. We wanted to see if we could make it deadbeat and deadbeat moms and deadbeat dads. But predominantly, it's always the case of the father who runs away, okay, and allows these children into the mercy of their mothers, who most often don't have the resources to handle these kids. And even if they do, like I said, there is still that vacancy, that vacant position in the child, the life of the child, that has to be occupied. Okay, before we went on break, we were talking about the roles of a father. Okay, Emanuela mentioned one. I would summarize whatever she said into protector. The father plays the role of a protector. You as a father has to be a protector. I don't know if which of you, let me just outline the different roles of a father. You can pick one and you expand on it. So you are, as a father, you should play the role of a protector. You should play the role of an educator. You should play the role of a role model. Your kids should not look at your neighbor and want to be like your neighbor when you, the father, is there. As a friend, you should be the friend. Entertainer, counselor, and most importantly, the one that touches my heart really well, disciplinarian. And then the last one, spiritual guide. We want to pick on any of these, Denzel or Bison, and talk on it. While I project more of the comments.
Who's going first?
Bison.
You can, it's fine.
Yeah, Bison, go on.
Well, I'm gonna take a father as an educator, and the fact that we use the word educator, our listeners shouldn't think like the father must be an educated person, because
I love that.
Yeah, education is not only in it's not only formal or formal setup where we have in the classroom and the teacher, but we also educate people informally by even being role models. You're educating. The first thing a father being a role model, especially for example to a boy child. The boy child, the first way the boy child dresses himself, it's probably exactly the way the father dresses.
Oh, I love that, Bison.
Yeah,
I love that. It's true. See people.
Yeah, a child will know to tuck in his shirt only if the father does so. So this is one way we know our dressing portrays our explains our insights. So this is one way that a father can always help in educating the child. Earlier on, I mentioned about the relationship between the girl child and the father. Father, being an educator, will teach a girl child to know how to make her choices when it comes to a man. She knows which man is saying, which man is prophesying true love and which one isn't true love. So this is another way a father plays a role as an educator. Another aspect where a father can play the role as an educator is to a boy child how to treat a woman. When it comes to emotion, how to treat a woman, the way the father would treat the mother is the same way the boy child will learn how to treat any other woman. When it comes to morals, a boy child or every other child will copy it's most likely that a child will copy a child growing up will copy the first character traits of the father. They say pussy ne the born goat. If papa if papa native man, pikin feel likely be tif man. So these are these are some of the educations that a father will always pass down to a child. And again, we talked about. I was trying to talk about. I read where they say the behavior of a child who lives without the father is likely there's 94%. It's 94% that this child, if it's a boy child, the boy will be involved in societal delinquents.
Yes, I was just about to say that.
Exactly, as compared to where the boy child lives with the father, the influence is really low. The possibility is really low to be involved in societal and behavioral ethics, self-esteem, and all that. These are all the character traits that the father will pass on to a child.
Okay. Thank you so much, Bisong. That was really insightful. Denzel, you want to go with any of them? I said protector, educator, role model, a friend, an entertainer, a counselor. These are all roles that is expected of a father to play in the life of their kids.
Yeah,
Guys, before Bisong speaks, please share the video. I don't know why you watch and you don't share. I see those of you who have shared. Share the video. Pump hearts, okay? I don't know why we're still on 250 hearts. Like, why are you not pumping those hearts? Pump us hearts. Share the video. Tag your friends. Every deadbeat dad out there that you know, tag them in the comment section. Every one of them, tag them for them to come and listen, because this could be a lifesaver for some of them. People do these things, they get into these things, they don't understand the implication it is. To most of you listening to me, you're keeping away the child from the mother or the child from the father, because it goes both ways, thinking you're doing a harm, you're causing harm to the significant other. Unknown to you, you're rather doing yourself a disservice, and of course doing more of that harm to that child. Like I said, they did not apply to be born, so you want to take your drama off them. Okay, so Denzel, please. The mic is
I would like to talk on role model. I know, like Bison has already spoken on a lot of things, a lot of areas. We are living in a society where it's like everyone is trying to be too busy, or everyone is busy, and there is so much pressure out here. And the way you handle pressure, you're setting an example. You are a role model to your kids. Let's say the way you talk at home, the way you speak at home when things are not going well for you. Let's say you have a business transaction and the transaction failed, or a business call came in and it was not fruitful. The way you yell at phone, your kids, they observe that and they watch at you, and these are the things that they are picking from you, because you are, like you said before, you are the first love of your child. You are the first example. Whatever way we put it, just be a good role model for your child. And like Bison said, I would just like to add about be the man of character, the man of integrity, because kids are seeing these things and they are picking up the way you carry yourself at home. You need to instill the importance of truth into your children. so many people, so many homes lack
Right.
these qualities. So you need to speak on truth. Let it be a policy in your home. When my 8-year daughter came here to Europe, we talked to her like, one thing in this house, we do not tell lies. No matter how bad that situation is,
Mm-hmm.
tell me the truth. I'm not going to kill you. I'm your dad, and this is your stepmom. Whatever it is, tell us the truth. And we tried a couple of times. Things were really going well, but still, I'm just trying to emphasize that try to educate your kids. The things that really matters. The things that like
Mm-hmm.
when they become adult and they go out there, what will society expect from these people?
Mm-hmm.
Society do not really need money from people. They need you to be a person of character, a person of integrity,
Mm-hmm.
build a reputation. And if you as a parent, you build these things, you work on yourself in these domains, your kids, they will pick them and they will go out, they will be a very exceptional human being. So
Right.
this is just what I would like to add to what Bissam said. Be a good role model to your children.
Right. Thank you so much, Denzel. Still,
But
we'll
don't
still
forget,
come.
we have to talk about deadbeat moms as well.
Of course, I know you'll come there. I know you're
Yes.
gonna come to that. Let me project some of the comments, okay? I think I've really let me project the comments and then we come back to deadbeat moms. But before we get into the deadbeat moms, I want to talk a bit on the disciplinarian aspect of it. This comment is coming from Fomino Edelquin. These days, we see fathers whose only contribution to their children's upbringing is going behind to undo all their mother's discipline instead of working hand in hand with the mothers to bring up the kids right. This comment is just in line with what I was talking about discipline. It's a lot of this. As a father, you're supposed to be as loving as you are, to be on the other hand a disciplinarian. Bible tells us that to spare the rod is to spoil the child. Okay, it is okay to give your child all of the good things of life, but it is equally not a problem if you can whip a child. Nowadays, parents are not even allowed to do that because of whatever is happening. I'm taking our typical African society, and this is what we're still good at. But in the course of time, I've noticed that the Africans, we were brought up, they beat us, they gave us this beating, it shaped us. Okay, if we there's no gainsay on the fact that it is because of how much of discipline our father's parents instilled in us, whether corporal, whether with a whip and all of that, that shaped us. Now, I'm not saying we go overboard with that. We know when we're talking about these things, we thought there's no wrong. If the Bible says you spare the rod, you spoil the child, there's a reason for that. Okay, so and I see men and women who say, oh, don't beat a child, don't touch a child. Like I said, I belong to that school of thought which says that you can whip a child if the child goes wrong. As the first disciplinarian of your child, is not supposed to be the teacher. It's not supposed to be the neighbor. It's supposed to be you, the father. To know that as much as I beat you with one hand, I hold you with one hand, and I can also whip you with the other hand. To know that I discipline you not because I hate you. It is more of love. Like I always say, I don't discipline people I don't love. It
Yeah,
is
Dele,
love.
can I add something to what you just said?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to give this tip for our viewers. This is how I was disciplining my 8-year daughter, my 8-year-old daughter that was here with
Yeah.
us a couple
Yeah.
of years ago. If she does something bad, like I do not really believe in beating or whipping. So this is what I was doing. If
Right.
you do something bad, you're not watching TV for this week, for the weekends.
Yeah. Ground
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
so she was like, I'm not doing that because she knows like on Saturday she has to watch maybe 1 hour TV, and if she does something bad, they will deprive
She will
her
not
from that.
watch it. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all part of the discipline. It's good, but
yeah.
like I said, you be Oyibo brother and you be white man brother. You see more, I whip. I did whip you. I whip you well. You will learn the hard way. Okay, that ground the way they ground some of when I need to walk, no nothing. You can get strong. When I walk outside, they whip. I look for a cane. I whip.
Back
I
then,
lay your buttocks
we'll
well.
be first get with
Then you
it.
know.
We'll be first get with it. We'll first ground you on
No, we
television
find out
alone. We've
today.
been that ground.
Oh God, tell me about it. We'll be back with
We'll
it
be
on
first get with it on the ground you. We
Mhm.
didn't have toys. We didn't have TV. We didn't have anything. the ground already, life on its own was already grounded.
Tell me about it. That's interesting, man. What we're trying to say is that whatever way of discipline works for you, okay? So, yeah, somebody is saying, Jesus boy, if you know me, I whip Jesus, I whip you fine, smack your ass. Like, you know what? You're not doing this again. You're not going to do it. I don't spare the rod. With my kids, I don't spare the rod. Like I said, what works for you? If you are that kind of father like Bison is, or Denzel, rather.
No, Denzel, not me.
I know. No, we definitely say things. You know, do that. Ground your child, but just discipline them. Don't say they picking them. They so when I see parents doing that and their children are plunging, they say that you would tell a parent, you're seeing this child is going wayward. You're trying to say, not their age. And these are the excuses you give, and before long, they've gotten out of hand. You as a parent cannot even discipline them. I talk when you talk three. That day, say, not something there with you all again. Anyway, so discipline was one of them. Okay, I was projecting the comment, and that comment caught my attention just in that light. But just so we don't go out of it to scare our children again. And this brings us to, Emma, you there? Nobody here, you've been silent. No laughter, nothing, no giggling, nothing. Yes, on this aspect of friends, there's the other side of discipline, to be your children's friends. You want to take on that, please?
To discipline your children's friend? I don't get this. Like how?
The role of a father in a child's life is one of them is to discipline them. On the other hand, to be the friend of the children.
Exactly.
Yes, I wanted you to take on that and to shed more light on it. Gong Delphine is saying, at what age? If you are still a child and living under me and eating my food and I'm spending money on you and I'm paying bills, you are a child. If you are an adult, you feel like you're an adult, go and rent. Go out of you. Why are you talking at what age? What age? What? I whip you if you are grown, you're an adult. Go and look for your own place and stay. You see one, as long as you're under my roof, you succumb to discipline. Just so you know that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so like you mentioned, I think like you see the other part we talk about, if you put those things together as a father,
right,
being available for your child as an educator, as a counselor, and all of this.
Yeah.
Even when you discipline your child will still know his
yes.
or her friend.
Yes.
Yes, your child will know. So they know how to differentiate between correction, love, and all of this. The problem comes when you're that father, like I mentioned, which always very well when you come, your children are just,
scared, yeah.
From the father, yes, because they know you very well. That's different. So you have to know this so that they know this is coming from the place of love.
Yes, yes.
Yes, because my father is my friend. He tells me, it's not even all the time that people pick up those beat. Sometimes you take time and tell the child, see, this is not correct. And this is how it works. That's French.
Yes.
French goes with correction and all of those. You're talking about something about discipline. I see people asking what age. That's something, and I'm going to try to differentiate between two societies here.
Yeah.
Especially the people in the diaspora.
Yes.
What I've noticed, they say you go to my place, you carry a cake just not at the house.
I tell you. You don't. Yeah. I'm talking to the people in the comment. You don't tell me when to discipline my child. If it works best to you, it works for you, not me. Like I said, I know what age I know how to stop. Continue, Emma. I'm just saying that to the comments because people want to instill their own discipline way on people.
Exactly. They want to do that. They want to instill, things have changed. Unfortunately, this is something I've observed, and I've heard a lot of people saying it. Do you know that even in the diaspora, our African children are even almost worse than this?
Yes.
The children of the
they are, not almost. No, they are.
And really was. Let me put some things out there. Maybe some people are just making comments without knowing those things. We have always known that in our society, there's no way we can get out of this. Respect is very paramount.
Yes.
Very, very.
Yes.
But a child in the diaspora will tell you, Auntie, please get up off my chair. I mean, get up. You're sitting on my space.
Yes.
And seriously, the mother will feel nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
The mother will feel like, I said,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The mother will promote it. Because it happens, and it happens always.
Yeah.
You will hear mother say, you know, the country, you know, the beginning of the country, you know, the country, even these people who give you the law, they know how to put it on kids. And you want to take it on yourself. You have your children disrespecting your family members.
Exactly.
And we try to talk about diaspora. It's a bit different from our African society, but unfortunately, because of globalization, a lot of people are copying these things.
Yes. Yes.
And when we talk about a child's right, even the Bible says it's perfect or to spoil the child.
Exactly.
The Bible is not fully about this. It actually meant that there is time for love, and there's time for discipline, and there's time for everything. But sometimes you don't discipline your child and you send your child outside.
Mm-hmm.
You discipline your child, you bring your child closer, and that's what makes the friendship.
Mm-hmm.
So this attitude of us trying to say, you're not picking a girl right, and maybe that are doing the big you know very well how respectful you are. You know very well that there are some things that happen to you because the way your mother will look at you.
Only the eye when Mr. Singer will take and look you. You don't already first start confess your sins before. You would deliver exactly. Ngong is saying you would deliver a child, you have a child, and then you become afraid of your child. Like, I don't get the justification some of you are trying to give, because the society is, you don't know the society you live in. And just like Emma is saying, the society is bent on destroying your children. The society is not, they are not the ones to parent, to give good parenting. Don't waste your time. If it's left on the society, they will go wayward. So you want to say, oh, because
In a society, see, I have observed people stand in a situation where a mother will send a child, and the child will say, Mommy, I'm not going. Like just a few minutes away from the house, the child will say, Mommy, I'm not going. And then you see the mother going.
Mm-hmm.
You see the mother going to do
now so then they he picking them in.
I have seen a situation where a child with about 15 years will be helping the mother, and the mother will say, you know, where I know you begin at it will really help. Where the team is like everything
guys, Emma, I think we should not take off this next topic for it. We should talk about parenting, okay? We should really trust these things in it, because right now we're deviating from that, which is I would love for us to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to the fact, like we are still talking about love. All of this, it's kind of intertwined, you know.
Yes.
To get together.
Yes.
And you were talking about love. And even if you were to discipline your child, or because you make your child able to help you and do the things you did while growing up, it means you do not love your child.
I know.
On the contrary, I feel like you do not love your child.
Exactly.
You take those things away from your child, because in the long run, you're the one to regret some of those.
Exactly. I know, right? Especially in America with black kids, especially there. That particular world, we'll talk about that on a different show. For now, you know, it's a lot of things. We're rounding up now. We have barely 2 minutes to go. I think we're just, Emma, I guess you've had your final word there. I'll go to who goes this song. You want to give your final word before
I'll just give my final words. Thank you, Deli. Thank you, fellow viewers, for hanging on. Yeah, and still, before I give my final words, I just throw a little bit of light on the discipline issue.
Yeah.
They say the beating where you deny for is still and today. Now you go take and tomorrow.
Exactly. I love that.
None of us, we were all, I guess all of us here, we were all beaten when we were small, right? We were all beaten. Any of we don't wake up say they go beat with Papa then today. But trust me, those kids who have the guts to lay hands on their parents are those kids that were not beaten when they were small. You understand? And I try to see from the comments, people try to bring about this Western civilization. Let's look at
some of them are even
look,
in Africa and trying to tell you Western civilization. Where you
let's look at the after expectation. Let's look at the after expectation. What our parents expect from us as we are grown up, is it the same thing the Westerners expect from their children?
Ask them. The values we have, and the values
the responsibilities we have on our parents. Westerners, do they have the same responsibilities? When mommy also take you even get food for waka, it is if he say he pikin no get right for take care for he spend money on you.
You know,
do they have that same values? So before you start trying to copy Western, this no bit picking, be ready when time don't reach for leave, for suffer the effect as a Westerner. Be ready to stand it.
They doubt why the society is happening. Oh, picking the nowadays is strong hit. Oh, picking the nowadays is quick. Oh, picking the nowadays is do this and that. Oh, deadbeat that's.
I'm not sure say some picking the body well. They be beating rich the way my papa beat me.
People are even arguing.
Understand?
Because of these things that you people are not doing.
I don't think there's any child on earth that was beaten as much as my father did.
No, but I don't beat you this my own. More
today, I still look at him as the greatest dad on earth. Because I was losing track.
Tell me about it. I tell you, Mr.
All my mommy stick there for turn for my hand. So also, I was losing track. People who know my childhood, they go tell you, all my mommy, if he stick there for turn eru, all for my hand, so my back, my foot there. It be the land for dinner every day. So I learn sense. Thanks to beating. Well,
you don't say you don't learn the sense finish.
I never learn a finish. You need to see, I know say my video we are going to Delhi. If you don't continue the beating. Because I used to so that's why I miss beating. Sometimes I do some wrong things, I make some wrong decisions, and I say, I really need someone to spank me. Mark, yes, sincerely, even as a grown-up, I make some wrong decisions, and I say, some person really need to take my corner for give me some crack. Say, what are you doing? Mark, come back to senses. Well, I would just like to thank everyone for hanging on up to this time. We thank you so much. And I appreciate, Denzel, you brought up so great points. Yeah. Emanuela and Deli, thank you for everything. And our followers and viewers, I thank you so much for everything and for all your contributions. I've been reading the comments Deli has been projecting on screen. I really, really appreciate. Let's try for my fellow brothers, let's try to be responsible fathers. If you get bele, papa no mina only for money palava. If you get bele, stand. Go be the father. Even if you don't get money, fatherhood is not tied only to finance. The morals, we've listed these things here. Discipline, there are many other things. Hold on to it. Some picking the cow lucky. The two will not get them. Now some picking to bring up. Just hold on, stand as the father, and carry on your responsibilities. Thank you.
Awesome one there, Bison. Thank you so much. Denzel, you want to? I don't see the people, like we say, we white man,
yeah, thank you guys so much for your experiences and all that you've shared. Still, we all believe in different schools of thought.
Yeah.
I believe in discipline, but not in the beating. All that, yes, I do not really believe in that because I've done a whole lot of research psychologically on those things, and I'm one of those people. I study a whole lot about mental health, psychological, and all those things. So I know the ramification that those things cause when you beat up your child.
They be beat we are Denzel. They be beat we. Of course,
there are benefits. There are benefits about you straightening up your child. I was being beaten too, but there are so many other consequences after beating up a child, which we can talk about that one another day.
The only consequences in a mark.
Bishop, you cannot say a beg until you get into the nitty-gritty of how that affects a child psychologically. Some kids tell lie just because
the only consequences in a mark for skin.
What about a child that runs away from their home because a party beats it all the time? So
this part of the world, Denzel, that you and I belong to, the highest people who run away from their homes, they're not beaten. Don't even get into that topic. So I understand what works for you.
The cases they varies. The cases they varies, but we should not try to make it like take one rule and across the board.
No, we are saying what works for you works, but if you have to give a point,
that's what I talk about school of thoughts,
That's what I'm saying that
yeah, so
if
that's
I
just
come on here, Denzel, if we come on here, we give a school of thought and it doesn't resonate, it doesn't sit well. We're not just going to take it because it's your school of thought. So we're saying if you give a point and then we say no, it could be seen like this, as regardless of if it's your school of thought, you get it. So, but discipline your children the way it works for you.
Yeah, that exactly. Just do it the way it works for you. If you believe in beating, if you believe in cautioning them, directing them the right path, perfect for you. Anyway, back to the topic. On deadbeat dad. I think I will encourage every father out there to do their best to make sure they become a father figure into the lives of their children. It's very important that you create that unity, that father figure connection between you and your child. And to our moms or to the mothers also, you have a role to play. You are the master of your environment. Sometimes put that your ego, the resentment, hateful, all those things, put them down and try to create a relationship between your child and the father. I know it's easier said than done, but still your child needs that love. Whatever it is, put your ego down, put your emotions down, and give your child the best. And if we all can unanimously agree that love is the greatest gift that we can give our children, then give that love. Do it. Whatever it is, do it. That's just the last thing I have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Denzel, for that insightful one. At the end of the day, love is the greatest. Love is the greatest language. It's the greatest commandment. It is the greatest of all. Okay, like we said, these things we have different schools of thought on this. We're talking predominantly to Africans and people from the African descent. So we can relate with a lot of these things. Today was all about deadbeat dads. We'll have a different topic and we'll talk about parenting maybe in a greater capacity on a different show, a different topic in a later time. But just so you guys know, today was all about encouraging you to be the best dad you can be, regardless of whether you are married or not to the father, to the mother. Be the best out there. Be the disciplinarian. I have to read all of that down. Protector, educator, role model, a friend, an entertainer, a counselor. Be the kind of dad that your child can run to you and say, what about, I'm beginning to see this boy talk to me. And this goes both ways, with deadbeat moms and deadbeat dads. I'm beginning to see this boy talk to me. What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of sex? What is the meaning of menstruation? What does it mean for a man to touch you here? You as the father and as the mother, you owe your children this. Okay? You owe your children all of these things. You do owe your children all of these things. So it should not be done by the society. It should not be done by the teachers, not be done by any other person, but you primarily, before the society gets to do whatever. So that whatever comes into your child's life, it bounces off. They can immediately sieve the negative or the vices that the society throws at them. Okay? And then also one thing, if I will summarize all of these, it is to say that a father will provide, would nurture, and will guide the child. If you did not take up anything, you would provide, you would nurture, and you will guide. This is the summary of love. If, like Denzel said, it's everything is all, it falls on love. It doesn't just suffice for you to be present. To give presents, rather, like gifts. Somebody made a powerful statement saying the present with a T should also be accompanied by the presence with a CE.
Yeah, the good thing is children even outgrow gift, but they will never outgrow love.
Exactly. They would outgrow all of the toys, the things you give them, but they would never. And if a baby mama is there listening to me, I listened to your comments, I saw your comments, I still insist. Do not deprive them. If the man has gone, make the person understand the stress you went through, the impact it had on your life, and how your journey all through that season. Calmly talk to them, whatever, express your bitterness, express your disappointment, but do not let that child to grow up without the father, especially the father is responsible and wants to take, because some of these fathers could come and they catch up. They could really come and they catch up. Do not deprive them. It is not their choice. You made your choice. You made a choice, the kind of man to be with. Okay, you cannot impose the kind of, because you want to go and get another father from. No, they have this father. You cannot decide now to say, okay, I refuse, you will not be. But like I said, we've touched on the both sides, and we have kind of struck a balance on what we're talking about, just so that people don't go and then come at any time expecting to just have the rights over these children. Okay, if he's coming with money, I insist. If the money is not okay, don't reject money. I always say, don't reject? This is just me trying to summarize. Don't reject money that is given to you. Most of you complain about these things. And if a man comes, maybe the man is struggling, okay? Do not reject whatever the man is giving to you. Do not reject it to say, now all the money that, if the man has to give you 10,000 and the man gives 5, try as much as possible to see if 15,000 comes the next sitting. Do not reject it, because at the end of the day, this is not about you, it's about the child. I hope we understand all of what we've said. I hope we find another time again to really talk about these things. Like I said, this is just the beginning of this show, so we're still trying to build a foundation, that we are going to talk about these things again subsequently, in a more detailed capacity. Thank you guys so much for being there. Pump us hearts as we leave. Say goodbye to your audience. These song hearts, guys, hearts. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Ciao.
See you again, same time, same venue. Next week, Fridays, on the same platform. I love you from my heart to yours. It is. Goodbye.
September is around the corner, and there is no better time to embark on your journey for studies in the UK than now. Are you looking for an opportunity to study in the UK? Do you want to graduate as a critical thinker and to gain the skills employers are looking for? Do you want to study a course in the shortage occupation list of the UK? Would you like to gain work experience by taking advantage of a 2 years post-study work visa? Would you like to study a science, technology, engineering, and mathematics degree to enable easy access to a permanent residence after graduation? FK Global Education Ventures got you covered. FK Global Educational Ventures will primarily evaluate, assess, and advise you on the necessary requirements of admission, assist you in choosing from over 300 courses, assist you gain admission into any university of your choice, helps you with your visa applications, assist you with accommodation, airport pickups, and settling in the UK. For more information, do contact us on the details you see on your screens. Thank you and God bless.
What nonsense is this? Rubbish people. How can I receive such an amount of money?
How much did you get?
£200.
Let me see what you got. Oops. See what I got. I just received £200 from my brother.
Oh, you got a lot more than I do.
Oh yes, with MoneyFix, you can receive money from any part of the world to Cameroon directly into your mobile money account at the cheapest rate.
Wow. Are you looking for the best exchange rate for all your money transfer? Try MoneyFix. Log on to moneyfx.com. MoneyFix. Fast, easy, and cheap service to Cameroon. MoneyFix. Hey, darling.
Hello, honey.
I brought you this.
You got me a new blender.
Oh, yes. Thanks to the more money I've been receiving through Moneyfx.
How come?
I receive more money through Moneyfx because they have the best exchange rates as compared to the last senders I was receiving.
Meaning you've been saving more?
Oh, yes. Use Moneyfx to receive more for less from abroad with their best exchange rates and save more. Always find the best rates to Cameroon with Moneyfx. Receive more money through Moneyfx today. Moneyfx, fast, easy, and cheap money transfer service to Cameroon.